What would it take to fix Kentucky's foster care system? It is something being studied right now as the number of children in state care continues to explode. Tonight, John Ball looks at two cases that turned out very differently to show just how complex this problem is.
Hi, Don Don.
Hi, Don.
Say, I love you.
When 4-year-old Hunter Payton died in foster care last year, our investigation raised the possibility it wasn't an accident.
And they said that the injuries that he did have, it was an unlikely injury. It don't happen. That, you know, something hit him hard.
Several months later, one of Hunter's foster parents was indicted on a murder charge.
The Cabinet for Families and Children scenario, the setup, is corrupt and it's incompetent. And it's no longer helping children and just getting them a better jump start in life. It's nothing like that anymore. It's a for-profit scheme.
When attorney Ron Hines looked into it and filed a wrongful death lawsuit, he found the Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services paying a private company to place children in foster homes. Private companies place about half of the children in state care into foster homes now.
Simply for finding, recruiting people who want to be foster parents, these private firms are making so many dollars per head per kid. So it's a vicious cycle. The more kids, the more money. And that's why it's run rampant. That's why the courts are swamped.
When these things happen, these kids get lost and then they get hurt or they get killed and everybody scratches their head and says, we don't know how it happened. I do. I know exactly how it happened because it starts like this.
An outraged Kim Campbell says she now understands how tragedies happen in Kentucky's foster care system. Her situation has nothing to do with privatization. She's been dealing with the same state government agency that's been placing foster children for decades. She brought us a pile of documentation to show what happened after she took emergency placement of a foster child on February 16th.
The problem is they had never met us. They never laid eyes on us. And I know that they are supposed to come and meet us to make sure that we are in an approved home.
2 weeks after Campbell and her husband had taken in a foster child, a state worker wrote, "I don't even have you listed as having a placement." 5 weeks and multiple emails after taking the teen, the Campbells complained she has yet to be placed with us from an official standpoint. We have no info on her. We have no medical card.
We could have been anybody. We could have been very bad people. We could have done harm to her. We could have claimed she ran away. They wouldn't have known. They didn't lay eyes on her.
At the 6-week mark, Campbell complained if we were showing as unapproved in the system from the get-go, why were we not contacted immediately? At the 2-month mark, I have still never received any information on the child from the worker or her supervisor.
We had moved. They didn't know where we were. We told them we were moving. We gave them the address, but they had told my husband when they called him that we weren't even in the system as being an approved home. So if we're not an approved home, why do we have your child for 2 months that you have not come out to see?
A spokesman for the cabinet responded to our questions in an email. Because of privacy issues, I cannot comment on specific cases. I can tell you that DCBS works with individual foster parents to address issues when they arise. We have a robust internal review process. State data shows currently there are 128 foster children in Kentucky listed as AWOL, with 58 of them in Jefferson County. A study group recommendation is expected by July 1st on whether Kentucky should completely privatize its foster care system. What's at stake? At any given time now, there are more than 9,000 Kentucky children in state care, with state data showing they spend an average of 22 months moving between 3 different home placements. John Ball, Wave 3 News.
A lot of young lives that we're talking about. More to come on that for sure.